After 30 years of being trapped by pain, I finally broke through using the latest science based strategies. And I'm here now to present to you the same strategies that helped me feel better and at no cost, and there's no catch. Greetings, it's nice to see you again. Recently, I got correspondence from a viewer who mentioned that he's been watching all my shorts on YouTube and he really enjoys them and he's noticed a change. He says, I seem more at ease in front of the camera and joyful. And I thanked him for his input and I thought about it, and it's true. I started doing these videos and the shorts, and it's a new thing for me and it's uncomfortable. And one of the secrets that I'm going to share with you is behind the camera where you can't see it, I keep a little chair. And this little chair is to remind me that I'm just talking to somebody as if I'm sitting in my living room. And every now and then, if I feel my stress going up, if I'm doing this type of video or I'm being interviewed for a podcast, I give that chair a glance to know I need to connect with at least just one person. And that's what I'm doing right now. And you're that one person. So here I am feeling more comfortable in front of the camera because it's really important that I'm able to tell you all the information that I've learned, all the research I've done, and all the science-based strategies that are going to make you feel better. So, I was thinking about that. I showed up scared to do this. I'm continually showing up to do these videos. And I thought, well, what else can we change that maybe you can do it scared if it's not something you're comfortable doing? And I wanted to start with something simple. And I thought the most important thing is that I'm talking to people who have chronic pain. And many of us in the pain community identify ourselves as pain warriors. Now, we use that word because when we do have the chronic pain, it's a battle, it's a struggle. We have to have courage to go on. And that's what a soldier does in war. They have courage, they have resilience, they're up for the battle day after day after day. And that is required when you have your brain telling you your body's in terrible pain. You've already healed from whatever, your broken leg, a surgery that you had the acute, pain. But now you're in the chronic state. You didn't get rid of the pain sensations. So, you use the terminology, I'm a pain warrior. And that's supposed to be uplifting to say that you're going to endure, which of course you will endure, you will live. But what I want to suggest is something maybe you're going to think is radical. But I'm going to suggest that your brain listens to the words you use. Yeah, that's right. How you describe yourself, what you say about yourself. Now, we do know a warrior, their blood pressure goes up, they get ready to fight. That's, something really important to remember because that's your sympathetic nervous system getting ready. So every day, if you're talking about, I'm a pain warrior, you're keeping your body in a state of alert. Your blood pressure goes up, your heart rate goes up. Sometimes your breathing gets more shallow. You're getting ready to enter a battle. And the ironic thing is that you're in chronic pain because your body hurts. So, you're positioning yourself to be in a battle against your body. And that's not a good thing. And I'm not talking about autoimmune because that's a whole other dialogue. We'll have some other time about what autoimmune is, the difficult conditions to live with of lupus, rheumatoid arthritis, and the other types of conditions that fall under the umbrella of autoimmune. There is a conflict going on in your body. Okay? I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the overall being a pain warrior. So, I'd like to throw out another term for you to try out and think about, and that's maybe a wellness navigator. That's right, wellness navigator. Now, what is a navigator? A navigator has to figure out how to get from point A to point B, right? You use something like a map. Or in my car, you GPS. We use GPS. I'm very challenged. I will share with you. I'm terrible about location. the north, east, west, and south. It eludes me that I can't figure out where that is. But I can hear, and right now I heard a little bell. Okay, so do you hear that little bell? That teaches me that in the future, when I do these videos, get all technology out of my room, outside of my computer where I'm filming this. But I don't want to stop because I'm on a roll talking to you. And I want to show you I am human. I am not perfect. This is not a real polished event. When I started my YouTube show, I could have hired a lot of production people and done this and that to make it look really slick so I could grab your attention. But I believe by you understanding who I am, my vulnerability, my imperfection, my challenges with certain words and how I stumble sometimes, and just everything about my manner is I'm genuine. But what I do lead with is my empathy for you because I understand your plight and I care about you. And that's why I keep showing up. So let me continue with Wellness Navigator. We're all striving to thrive, and that's what wellness is. It's balance in our lives. And navigation is learning science-based strategies that are going to move you from point A of just being in terrible pain and moving along and making progress. And we could talk about other words that are used besides if we use Wellness Navigator. Another word we use, I'm having a flare up. Well, wonder if we look at the word flare up instead of flare up, saying today my body is really challenged, so I'm going to do some comforting activities. Because I know when I used to use the word flare up, it seemed to contain me and I was going to be stuck in that situation. And then, I didn't think about helpful things to do for myself. And, just by using a label, it contains what we do and we doesn't let us stretch to find the things that are going to make us more comfortable. We just endure. We're going to endure it rather than thinking, okay, I'm really my levels of what's going on in my body, the spasms, the burning, the tingling, whatever your pain experience is more amplified in that moment of your day. Okay, instead of looking at it as I'm triggered, I've got a flare up. It's that, okay, my body's saying I want more comfort. I need to be massaged or I need some heat put on me. And if your condition doesn't contraindicate using ice, maybe ice packs will help. Maybe it's time to take out your music. Maybe it's time to take a hand massage thing that, if you have spasms in your shoulders areas more so than usual, then that could give you some relief. So already you're getting operational. You're not just sitting there, thinking I'm all flared up today. I can't do anything. And during the course of every day, I hear from many different people. And just before I started this video, I heard from a gentleman from across the seas who is going through a lot with his pain condition. And I had empathy and I sympathized with him, but I gave him some advice. I said, I know you're in bed. Do you have your phone to stream some comedy or to listen to a favorite song? And, you think, well, that's not being caring. Well, it is being caring because I wanted him to feel better. And instead of saying, oh, I hope you feel better, I gave him a strategy that's going to release the neurotransmitters, that oxytocin and dopamine and serotonin and endorphins. I'm always looking how I can best help. And I know by helping you emphasize those things in your body by taking just a little action. You don't have to leave the house. You don't have to go pay money well, that's going to help me. You can just reach for your phone, reach for your iPad. That's all, and if you watch TV, watch your TV. So, we're talking about being a wellness navigator and looking at the famous things of flare up, being in a flare up. And, one thing about flare ups, when your body is really screaming at you, it's important to start documenting when those times happen. You have to look at what did I do not in the past hour or day. Sometimes it's 2 or 3 days before that wore you down and got you to suddenly your pain condition says, listen to me, listen to me. And it gets your attention. Because I've talked to people and they say, well, I don't notice anything I do changes how I'm feeling. And I nod my head and I say, well, that's interesting. But how about if you really look close at it and you start noticing what you're doing every day? Because some people say, oh, emotions don't affect me. Well, if that is their truth and they understand it that way, then maybe that's happening. But physiologically, science-based, it is proven that emotions do impact the body. It may be that your feeling of what an emotion is different than what it is physiological. If you're not carrying, anger, fear, all those kind of emotions, you may not understand that there's other emotions going on in your body, other maybe judgments and things like ruminating. Ruminating is thinking over and over again, unpleasant thoughts, the ruminating thoughts. And I know from my own experience as being a chronic pain person, a wellness navigator for 30 years, and finally, getting to my destination of being pain free. I know that I was stuck in that thing of emotions affecting, how my body felt throughout the day. So that was one type of thing that would do the flare ups, which, I'm trying to expand the language so we're not using flare up. We're opening it up. We're saying, today, I'm really having a lot of discomfort. I'm listening to what my body's saying, and I'm either going to rest, I'm going to use some massage, I'm going to do some self care things that are going to make me feel more comfortable until it calms down a bit. But, I'm always talking about self care, that you're the operator of it. I can't do it for you. You have to do it. I say, turn on the light, show you more information that I've, come upon through my experience and plus my advanced training. And I'm always learning. I'm always connecting with other health professionals and listening and understanding of what they see and what they're learning. So it's a growing field of information in the world of pain rehabilitation, which is a really exciting because it was very stagnant for a long time. And to this day, I hear from people who say, my doctor doesn't believe in the connection of mind body, which is really discouraging because it is proven that the biopsychosocial frame of looking and treating pain is the most successful way to help people. And yet there are still doctors who are, licensed and they took the same oath of first do no harm. And they're still not wanting to even think about that with their patients. Or maybe they'll say, okay, go to a psychologist and let them deal with all that mind stuff. And that's, I'm glad that maybe they're connecting a patient with somebody who could be helpful and teach cognitive behavioral therapy, which is good. But the fact that the doctor in his or her office is not wanting to even have a dialogue with their patient about, how you frame it and how you look at what's going on with you physically could impact how you're feeling. But apparently that's too big of a step for some doctors. But take heart, there are doctors out there. There's physical therapists and occupational therapists and pain psychologists out there. There's a lot of very helpful people, professionals who have been educated in the most, cutting edge of pain treatment science. So I want you to be optimistic in that way. But I also want to reinforce how important it is for you to take control of your own well-being and your own journey as a wellness navigator. So I'm hoping that you understand that I honor the fact if you not enjoy, but you're comfortable with I'm a pain warrior, or maybe even be more specific about certain your condition. Like, another terminology for me used to be a self-identity was I'm a CRPS warrior because I had complex regional pain syndrome. And I've met lupus warriors and fibromyalgia warriors. And it's just a word that, again, it forms communities and it makes us feel, if we use that term, that, we're strong and we're going to fight. But on the other hand, now, if you look at the science of self-talk and how you could calm your body, isn't it good to start thinking in using other terminology? And, it's just like I talk about the word pain being a four-letter word and try to get people when I work with them to talk about, well, my discomfort was really high today, or my discomfort was, I was much more comfortable. So you're not always going back to that pain, because your brain's already really an expert at dealing with pain if you have chronic pain. So I'm hoping my words encourage you today, because we're learning how words can impact the body. And also that my open and honest about dealing with my journey of being on YouTube and doing these videos is a journey myself, and I'm learning things and getting more comfortable in front of the camera. I don't even get upset anymore when I hear my voice and the tone of it, or my appearance, and the fact that I'm 72. I've never had a problem about aging. I'm happy that I've lived this long, And so I'm not hung up, as a term for my generation. I'm not hung up about being 72. And I like to be maybe a symbol of resilience, and to say your life doesn't finish at the traditional retirement age, that we could keep reinventing ourselves. And due to neuroplasticity, I have the ability to learn how to use a computer. I've learned how to upload to YouTube. I've learned how to read the analytics. If you had told me that 5 years ago I would be doing this, I would have questioned your sanity, because I barely had used a computer. I hadn't really sat at a computer until November 11th, 2022, when I sat down because I had a contract to write my book. And my husband had to teach me how to use Microsoft Word. And it took the whole arc of my writing the book to figure out many things about downloading and uploading and all of that. So I'm still learning. And so, on that note, I'm going to say goodbye and ask you to learn about yourself and experiment with new language. And if you have new phrases that you think are more appropriate or you'd like to run by me, please leave a comment. And I'll see you next time. So it's bye for now. I hope you enjoyed the video. And if you found it useful, please give it a thumbs up. And also, please subscribe so you'll be given notice when the next video is uploaded. And also, to go an extra step, how about leaving me a comment so I know I'm not out here all alone trying to help people?